Hey guys, thanks for obviously stopping by and watching the video. Just remember, if you like it, just leave a like. Um, and if you do find yourself coming back here on the regular, then please subscribe. It may not help you a lot, but it does help me a lot. So thank you, and let's get on with the video.
Bonjour, mes amis. Je suis le Canadien. I'm coming to you from a different location today because I didn't record last night. But welcome to the week in review, where it's time to talk about the games that happened during week 8 and what the trade deadline looming. Which I believe when this comes out, it'll be 4 o'clock, and that is when the trade deadline is. But whatever happens now and then, we'll cover on Thursday. So let's get right into the action this week. As we start with Thursday Night Football, we have ourselves the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If there was a game that ended a marriage, this was that game. This was a game where Brady didn't look terrible, but he also didn't perform to his elitist level like he's usually commonly known for. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson went 27 for 38, 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. For rushing, it was all Gus Edwards today, 11 carries for 65 yards. And Isaiah Likely leading the receivers with 6 receptions, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Never heard of Isaiah Likely on that board yet, but now we do. For those Buccaneers, Tom Brady went 26 for 44, 325 yards and a touchdown. Leonard Fournette ran 9 times for 24 yards and a touchdown. And Mike Evans had a nice little day. 6 receptions for 123 yards and nothing else. The Ravens nearly lost this game, but they held on. But with it, the Ravens beat the Buccaneers by a score of 27-22. And this was the game that saw Tom Brady finalize his divorce the next day. That poor bastard. But seriously, no, I'm wishing his kids and Giselle and himself well, because we don't wish ill will on anybody here. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Moving on, we got the London game between the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars. At least it was actual football playing. It was terrible. The same token, it wasn't pretty either. It was decent. We'll call it decent. For those Broncos, Mr. Cowboy himself, Chef Russ, went 18 for 30, 252 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Latavius Murray carried 14 times for 46 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, it was Jerry Jeudy's day, 6 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. But for those Jaguars, T-Law went 18 for 31, 133 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And then there's the might of Travis Etienne. 24 carries, 156 yards, and a touchdown run. God damn, that boy can run. And for receiving, Evan Ingram went 4 receptions for 55 yards and a touchdown. Jaguars still suck, which is this is one thing right in the NFL. Broncos went 21-17 in London, while I'm giving cheers to those Brits. For the next game we have on the board, we have the Falcons taking on the Panthers. Stupidly enough, for the right to be on top of the NFC South. Yes, really, this really happened. Because with Tampa Bay's loss, it opened up who could take the top. For those Panthers, and by the way, I apologize for the background noise. For those Panthers, PJ Walker went 19 for 36, 317 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Dante Foreman went 26 carries on the ground for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. What a freaking day. And for receiving, it doesn't stop there. DJ Moore caught it 6 times for 152 yards and a touchdown. No wonder why Baker Mayfield is now the backup of the team. Seriously. For the Falcons, Marcus Mariota went 20 for 28, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Caleb Huntley carried the ball 16 times for 91 yards. And for receiving, it was Kyle Pitts. 5 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Wait, he's getting a touchdown? Jeez. Finally. Yeah. The game went into overtime because, when the Panthers tied it up late into the fourth, they missed the goddamn extra point. So the Falcons took it in the end, 37-34. The Atlanta freaking Falcons are now the top team in the NFC South. Yikes. Hell is frozen over 101. Fact. Moving on, we have the Cowboys taking on the Bears. And what could be called a slaughtering. An absolute slaughtering. But for the Bears, this will be the last game Roquan Swift would play as the Chicago Bear, because yesterday it was announced that he was traded to the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick in 2023. That's actually a fair deal. Well, I'll talk about more about that on Thursday. But for those Bears, Justin Fields went 17 for 23, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. For some reason, Trevor Siemian got a pass in, 1 for 1 for 5 yards. That's really all. Khalil Herbert ran 16 times for 99 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, Darnell Mooney caught it 5 times for 70 yards. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott went 21 for 27, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception. Tony Pollard, dude. This is why he's fucking running back 1 now. 14 carries, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You gotta love to see that. Receiving, CD's Nuts Lamb caught it 5 times for 77 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys win 49-29 over those damn Bears. Good. For the next game on our bulletin here, we have the Dolphins taking on the Detroit Lions. Okay, this game was a lot closer and a lot better than I anticipated it to be. Seriously, I didn't think this game was actually going to be half fun, but it was good. I'll give you that. It was a good game. For the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa went 29 for 36, 382 yards and 3 touchdowns. Man. Raheem Mostert led the rushing corps, 14 carries for 64 yards. Receiving, it was Tyreek motherfucking Hill. 12 catches for 188 yards. But honorable mention on the Jalen Waddle, who caught it 8 times for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is why your receivers are good. Because, well, you have Tyreek fucking Hill. For those Lions, Jared Goff went 27 for 37, 321 yards, and a touchdown. Jamal Williams carried it 10 times for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for receiving, TJ Hawkinson only caught it 3 times for 80 yards. But I got to give an honorable mention to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He caught it 7 times for 69 yards. Lions nearly had it, but the Dolphins came back late, forcing the win for Miami as they take it 31-27. Well, with it, let's go on to the next game as we got the Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, now Kyle Murray's in Call of Duty mode because the game launched on Friday. And it's actually a pretty good game, I'm going to tell you that. But same can be said about the Cardinals and their I don't know. They're just not there. For the Cardinals, Kyle Murray went 31 for 44, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Murray also had the rushers today, 6 carries for 36 yards. And for receiving, DeAndre Hopkins, goddamn. 12 receptions for 159 yards and a touchdown. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins went 24 for 36, 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook ran 20 times for 111 yards and a touchdown. For receiving, it was Justin Jefferson with 6 receptions, 98 yards, en route to a Vikings victory by a score of 34-26. The Vikings are still the best team in the NFC North. And with the way that division's looking, that ain't saying much. Moving on, we got the Raiders taking on the Saints. Dear Raiders fans, I'm sorry for jinxing your team in the Week 8 predictions. I didn't expect you to shit the bed that bad, but oh my god, you shit the bed that bad. Come on, it's the Saints. For the Raiders, combined effort of Derek Carr and former Pat Jared Stidham went 23 for 39, 173 yards, and an interception. Josh Jacobs ran 10 times for 43 yards. Receiving, it was Mac Hollins, 7 receptions for 64 yards. For the Saints, the combined effort of Dalton and Hill went 23 for 31, 231 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara leads both the receiving and the rushing. He led the rushing corps with 18 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown, and he led the receiving with 9 receptions for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. 27 touches of the ball and 3 touchdowns. That ain't bad. Like I said, how the hell did the Raiders shit the bed that bad? Because they didn't even cross midfield until there was 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They got shut out 24-0 in New Orleans. Oh, New Orleans actually looks good right now. Moving on, we got the Patriots taking on the Jets. I am not sorry for predicting the Patriots winning this game. I said what I said and I meant what I meant. And this is why I'm going to be right. The Jets are our bitch. For the Patriots, Mac Jones went 24 for 35, 194 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Ramondre Stevenson led rushing and receiving today. Led rushing was 16 carries for 71 yards, and then led receiving with 7 receptions for 72 yards. For the Jets, Zach Wilson, the fucker of the moms, don't you know, went 20 for 41, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Michael Carter carried the ball 7 times for 26 yards. Ty Conklin caught it 6 times for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Don't matter because Patriots win, the Jets are our bitch. Patriots win, the Jets are our bitch. New York can never beat us. Dun 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 dun. Moving on, we got the Battle of Pennsylvania live from Lincoln Financial Field. It is the Steelers taking on the Eagles, trying to be the team that puts the 1 in the loss column. But let's see. The combined effort of Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, and Chase Claypool went 27 for 40, 196 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. No, that touchdown didn't come from freaking Pickett. It came from Claypool. Jalen Warren caught it 6 times. Ran 6 times for 50 yards, and Pratt Freiermuth caught it 4 times for 57 yards. For those Eagles, fine effort of Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew. 20 for 30, 95, 05, 308 yards and 4 touchdowns. Miles Sanders ran 9 times for 78 yards and a touchdown. And A.J. motherfucking Brown, 6 receptions for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. No wonder why Philly is still undefeated. This final score, 35-13. Good job, Philly. You're still undefeated. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Nation, let's fly. Moving on, we got a battle for the AFC South. That looked more like a one-sided affair than it really was. Sorry. We got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Houston Texans. And the moment that I clicked on this game, holy shit, Derrick Henry is a god. For his first NFL start, Malik Willis went 6 for 10, 55 yards and an interception. I can see why he only threw for 10 times because he mainly used Derrick Henry today. 32 carries, 219 rushing yards. Holy shit. And 2 touchdowns. Yeah, now I can see why Derrick Henry is known as the king. For receiving, it was just Robert Woods, 2 receptions for 26 yards. That's really it. And then for the Texans, Davis Mills went 17 for 29, 152 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Damian Pierce only ran 15 times today, only for 35 yards. And Brandon Cooks caught it 4 times for 73 yards. Texans still suck. Tennessee wins 17 to 10. Everyone still mocks the Texans because the Texans deserve to be mocked. We got the Commanders taking on the Colts. Hey, speaking of teams that need to be mocked. Okay, Indy collapsed really late. And this game also featured one of the passes of the year. I'm not kidding you. If PJ Walker could do that with DJ Moore in the Atlanta game, this one also featured that such. For the Communists, Taylor Heineke went 23 for 31, 279 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Heineke also led the rushing corps, 6 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. And for receiving, Terry McLaurin caught it 6 times for 113 yards. You love to see Terry do well. And for the Colts, new starter Sam Ellinger went 17 for 23, 201 yards. Jonathan Taylor ran 16 times for 76 yards. And Alec Pierce caught it 3 times for 65 yards. This is another case of a team coming back late because the Commanders won 17 to 16. But Jesus. Speaking of Jesus Christ, man, let's go to the NFC West. We got the Niners taking on the Rams. This was Christian McCaffrey's breakout game. And I'm not even kidding. Let's go over Christian McCaffrey's stats first, because I know he led rushing, but let's just go over McCaffrey's stats on the day. At quarterback, he went 1 for 1 for 34 yards and a touchdown. On the ground, led the rushing with 18 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. And as a receiver, caught it 8 times for 55 yards and a touchdown. The first player since LaDainian Tomlinson to have a touchdown pass, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown in a single game. That's how you know Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs in the league. And for the remainder of the stats, excluding rushing, Jimmy Garoppolo went 21 for 25, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for receiving, Brandon Ayuk caught it 6 times for 81 yards and a touchdown. For the Rams, Matty Stafford went 22 for 33, 187 yards and a touchdown. Ronnie Rivers, that's a new name on the rushing, 8 carries for 21 yards. And that's that. For receiving, it was Cooper Kupp, 8 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown. The Rams just did not look good today. They did not look good. As the Rams proceeded to lose to the Niners by a score of 31 to 14. Yeah. Moving on, we got the Giants to get on the Seahawks. Nobody thought the result that happened would happen, but nonetheless, it did. For the Giants, Danny Dimes went 17 for 31 and 176 yards. For rushing, it was Saquon Barkley, 20 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown. And for receiving, Darius Slayton caught it 5 times for 66 yards. For the Seahawks, it was Geno Smith, 23 for 34, 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. Smith went 5 times on the ground for 26 yards, while I find that to be completely false. Which I'm going to double check because I still don't think that's the case. In fact, what I think is that it was led by goddamn Kenneth Walker. Oh, okay. So apparently they don't have that. Okay, so that's the case. The receiving, Tyler Lockett caught it 5 times for 64 yards and a touchdown. The 6-1 Giants really lost to the 4-3 Seahawks. 27-13. The Giants are now 6-2. Seahawks are 5-3 without Russell Wilson. Let that one sink in. For Sunday night football, it was between Allen versus Rodgers, Packers versus Bills. A great game all around. Quay Walker getting a rare ejection for shoving for a sideline coach for the Bills. And honestly, I don't know what you expect out of this game other than the Bills win. For the Packers, Rodgers went 19 for 30, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Aaron Jones is a legend. 20 carries for 143 yards. And for receiving, it was only Robert Tonyan, 5 catches for 35 yards. For the Bills, Josh Allen went 13 for 25, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Devin Singletary carried it 14 times for 67 yards. And Stephon Diggs showed why he's one of the best receivers in the league with 6 receptions, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Leading to the Bills taking Sunday night by a score of 27-17. I seriously think that the Packers might be in trouble. But from Monday night, oh boy, we got the Bengals taking on the Browns. And what shouldn't have been the way it was, but this is the NFL in 2022, and no logic makes sense ever. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow went 25 for 35, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Joe Mixon ran 8 times for 27 yards. And T. Higgins caught it 3 times for 49 yards and a touchdown. For the Browns, Jacoby Brissett went 17 for 22, 270 yards and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, when he tried his only pass attempt, threw an interception. Good job, stupid. Nicholas Chubby carried it 23 times for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns, proving he is a damn good running back. And for receiving, Amari Cooper caught it 5 times for 131 yards and a touchdown, somehow winning the game for the Browns by a score of 32-13. Yeah, what more can you say about this fucking week? This week was just an outright disaster. But that will do it for the week in review. Hope you enjoyed the change of scenery. I had to choose a different background because I didn't have the one I normally use. Because I'm on my laptop, that's why. But hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, leave a like, comment down below if you guys want to see anything next. And if you have not done so already, subscribe and join the Illogical Nation. But until next time, guys, je suis le logique canadien. Bonne nuit et au revoir.